this is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and we are on a Monday. It's a beautiful day, and I am happy because it's a beautiful day because it's been raining the whole weekend. I mean, we have gotten so much rain over the weekend. But now the sun is coming out and everything is bright green. I mean, rain just really lifts everything up. If you're in California, I know you don't understand that concept because you very seldom get rain, and everything right now is brown. But here in South Carolina, it's beautiful weather. I have been thinking a lot about leadership. And I have come to the conclusion that we have lost leadership. We have lost the ability to lead. And so many of us have now become followers. And I put the blame all at the fact that we as men and women have forgotten how to lead. We no longer lead. We follow. And the biggest culprit of this is the fact that everybody went working from home. You don't see leadership. You don't hear about leadership. You hear about tasks and things to do, but you don't ever hear about how you're going to improve your leadership ability. You have forgotten how to communicate eye to eyeball, face to face. You have forgotten how to get up in the morning, take a shower, put on clean clothes, and face the day. You have forgotten that, you drank the night before, but now you got to get up the next day and you got to show that you're present for work. All of this has destroyed our ability to watch leadership and to learn from leadership and to learn how to lead. We no longer know how to communicate face-to-face. Everything is done through Zoom. I, as a mediator, I enjoy doing things from Zoom because I'm able to control the arguments going back and forth. It's very easy to do that because we're in a specific amount of time that we have to work with each other. But I enjoy the face-to-face mediation far more. But I'm doing it worldwide, so I have to do it via Zoom. It's funny because I live in the state of South Carolina. I do no mediation in South Carolina. Everything is way out there. All the way down to Brazil, I have done it. But we have learned that when we are in a business, we have forgotten how the process of communicating and working as a team and working as leaders and motivation and knowing how to understand what leadership is about, we have forgotten all about it. We have forgotten to look at the examples of leadership. We have forgotten how to look at the leadership as influence. And we have this excuse now that's, I didn't know. Because you now have an excuse because you're no longer working as a team. You don't know what the other team members are really working on. You don't know what your boss is working on. You may need some help. You may need some encouragement, but you're not getting it because, Zoom does not offer that. Because that boss does not see you and how that day you might be down or that day you might be up or that day you might have an ingenious thought process. They don't see it. So you're not seeing leadership and you don't know how to lead any longer. It's our biggest problem that we have. And if you look at Washington, D.C., we certainly have lost out leadership because we have people in government who are not communicating with the American people. They are communicating to, but they're not listening. And the biggest part of leadership is that you listen. If you don't listen, you cannot resolve issues. You see, it's so easy to be in a government office building surrounded by fences, scheming and planning, but not listening to the needs of the American people. It's so easy for politicians to not lead. In fact, they don't even need to lead. They just go, they follow whatever their party is telling them. That's the politics side of it. And the other issue is that politics has become a part of business today, and it should never have been, because politics corrupts business thought process. You no longer are independent leaders, but you are following a political agenda, and that creates conflict internally and externally. It's time that we go back to work, because we have got to start molding our leaders for tomorrow. If we don't, we're not going to have any more leadership anywhere. If you look at schools certainly do not teach leadership any longer. But they're molding people to do and say and hear whatever they want that teacher to hear, or whatever that school is promoting as their agenda. We have a problem. We have lost leadership. We are no longer leaders of the world, that's for sure. We're no longer leaders in industry. That's a sad situation. We no longer have leaders in business because they are so worried about how not to offend people. They don't want to offend anybody because it's not politically correct. I tell you, I admire people who offend me. I do. I like the fact that they're going to come to me and they say, you know what, Mike, I don't agree with what you said. And I will sit there and I will listen. It's my job. That's what I do, is I listen. But I want to hear what they feel, what I'm doing wrong. That's the only way I can learn. That's the only way I can become a better leader in what I do. But we have so many people in corporate management now that are wimps. They're fake leaders is what they are. They have a title, but they don't know how to lead. They have a title, but they cannot lead because they are held back and restricted by what they can and cannot do, and what they can and cannot say. So we have wimps. We have wimps in government. We do not have any world leaders that know how to lead any longer. They're going with the flow. Well, what is that other country going to do and say? And they're not asking the question, what do I need to do to help my people, to help my nation? But instead, they're going around, and we've got NATO, and all those people are not ready for war at all. I'm telling you right now. And I'm afraid if we look at our leadership within our own military, we have some wimps there. If we ever got into a war, are they going to worry about offending people? Or I better not pull this trigger because I might offend people who are shooting back at me and don't care. We have wimps. Wimps in government, wimps in the military, and wimps in our corporate structures. We have nobody out there taking the lead and saying, okay, this is where we're going to go, and listening to the people that they're working with, the people that they're representing, and saying, okay, this is where we need to bring in balance, because we need to get to a place where the company is now a leader within the industry. I'm talking about business now. Forget about government, because they're hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. If you ever expect leadership again in government, you'll never get there, because they are so politically motivated through an agenda that they are not motivated by the people they represent, or the states or the counties or the cities that they represent. Politics will never come back to where it used to be, where we used to have leaders that would sit down and talk with each other. We have so much hate in Washington, D.C., that there can be no leadership with hate. There's no leadership with hate. You saw what happened to Hitler when he started to hate. He was destroyed. He was gone. The only thing that we remember from Hitler is that he had hate. He promoted hate. He endorsed hate. He did everything that he could so that he could gain control through hate, but that never works out. And so we have the same situation in government in the United States right now, where hate is controlling the decision-making of politicians. But in business, we still have a chance because we are independent individuals. And we have got to become more independent in our thought process. And we have got to challenge. We have got to see how we can do things better, how we can lead better, how we can train our employees to be better leaders. But you can't do it through Zoom. Forget about that. You can't do it through a telephone call. We have got to get back to that face-to-face interaction and how we know how to communicate with people better. When we get up in the morning, we get dressed, and we go into work and we do our work together and face-to-face. That way we leaders can motivate their employees below them. Employees can be motivated to lead, but we're not doing that at the moment. This working from home has failed Americans so badly. You and I, who work in corporate America, we have been failed because government got involved. And businesses were not able to make the decision of what's going to harm our employees, the mental health of our employees, the leadership building of our employees, the teamwork, ability to work together on projects, face to face, and being able to question and being able to suggest and being able to do all these things. I tell you, I have seen so many people destroyed through an email. I have seen so many people destroyed by a 5-minute call on Zoom. I have seen it. I have heard about it. I have done the workplace mediations where people are disturbed. They are truly disturbed because they don't know in which direction they're going any longer in their careers. We have so many other issues of customer service issues, of management issues, of everything else, because we are no longer attached to each other. We are no longer building relationships. Zoom calls does not build a relationship. It doesn't. And it never will. But face-to-face interaction is what does. And that's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us building. That's what keeps us getting better at what we do. And we have got to look at that. My dog decides to shake right when I'm doing my podcast here. I tell you, when you have dogs in the house and you're trying to work in the house, trying to operate a business in the house, dogs always get in the way. Besides the refrigerator. I notice that I run to the refrigerator every time I need to make a decision. It seems that way. Thank God I'm not making that many big decisions. Otherwise, that refrigerator would be completely empty. Life is changing, but we need to go back to our roots, and we need to go back to where we were building each other up, where we were teaching each other to lead, teaching each other to do good work. We're no longer men. We're no longer women. We are just objects on the other end of a Zoom call. We got to change that. Otherwise, our businesses are going to fail. Our governments are going to fail. Everything's going to fail because we've lost our ability to communicate face to face and to build those relationships. Listen, if you want to have more access to me, go to www.lodge-co.com. Again, that's lodge-co.com. Everybody go out and have a good day. Get off those Zoom calls. Get back into the office and start building those relationships, because that is what is going to make you a well-rounded leader. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye.